nothing burger of a game, honestly. It's just one of those games where you go, not really much to say about the game. Obviously, it's not a great performance from PSG, but you did what you need to do. You didn't lose the game. And with today's, not losing today, first and foremost, you extend your streak in terms of unbeaten in the league, obviously, which is one step closer to the invincibility in the league. Unfortunately, with the draw, you stop your, I think, 10-win unbeaten streak in the league, which is unfortunate. But you go, whilst that's stopped, then you also beat the great AC Milan's record for the most consecutive games without losing away from home, which with 39. So, I mean, you beat the records and whatnot. Obviously, you would have rather beat the records, with a win. But at this point in the season, obviously with the Champions League coming up and so on and so forth, a lot of people are talking about, how, PSG, they've already won the league and that, they don't really have much to play for. And it's like, well, obviously it's false. There's still the invincibility of it. And so I think that's still a good thing. But it does also mean that there's no need really to go and exert yourself to get a win. It's more so sort of make sure you don't lose. And you're sort of good in that domain. But yeah, to continue on, the performance today was meh. Probably like mid, just 5 out of 10. Not great. I don't think anybody in the team really goes and stood up high and did really well. You scored early on. As usual, you dominate possession. You had better XG, more shots on target, bigger chances created. You dominated the moment of the game. But again, it's a lapse in concentration, lost ball, and they go and they score when you in your moment of weakness, and it's starting to get a bit annoying. If to be honest, that like we can't keep clean sheets. I think our last clean sheet would have been against 𝙎𝙬𝘾𝘼𝙎𝑎, and even that game, something like we played well. In some respects, would I say I'm concerned? Not necessarily, because we're not losing. We're still okay, and you're at a point in the season where games are gonna start to come quick and fast, and that at this point the result is the most important thing. How you play, etc. and so forth. I'm not worried about look at you guys are struggling against Nantes. How you guys can do against Arsenal? Against Arsenal, the players are gonna have a different mentality. The game is gonna be the players are gonna board the game in a completely different manner. So I'm not worried on that part. But obviously, like ideally against Nantes, who, if I'm not mistaken, if we look at the table here, are a couple points off, relegation here. So these should be games that even they're playing away from home against Nantes at the Stade de la Beaujoire, you should be winning. But it is what it is. The most important thing, honestly, is the record. It's going to be a game that a couple of days here you forget about. Team didn't play well. To look on some particular performances, according to Fatima Pierre, Vitinha got the man of the match. I thought he was fine today. I think he's the one sort of fault. He's the culprit for the goal that we conceded. I think it's his loss of the ball, and then Barcolo as well. It's annoying, especially Vitinha. I don't think he's been good for the last couple of recent games. I thought his entry against I guess who do we play? His last entry against in their previous game, I don't think it was great. His game against Aston Villa also wasn't all that great, so I'm a bit worried there for him. Ousmane Dembélé, again, I mean, as a 7.0 here, I don't think he was all that great. I think especially recently for him, he's been really in a sort of a moment of down form. I don't think he's scored in a couple of games. He was rested obviously over the weekend, so he didn't play then. So doesn't really have the excuse of being tired and whatnot. I think his decision making has been a bit lackluster. Is trying to force things a bit too much. Is trying to be a bit. I'm seeing shades of the Dembélé a lot of the beginning of the season, which I don't particularly like. I'm not all too concerned. He's still creating chances, he's still causing havoc, but I just want him to be a bit more, calm and composed in situations when he's in front of goal. Bar that, I thought an interesting bit from today is that we sort of play with a midfield 4, and we sort of really just had 3 defenders. So you had Marquinhos, Beraldo, and Mendes as your, sort of defense, and you really had like a midfield basically of Warren, Neves, Vitinha, and Ruiz. With here they show, Neves being the midfielder and more 𝙎𝙬𝘾𝘼𝙎𝑎 being the right back, but it was actually flipped, at least for most of the game when I was paying attention to it. 𝙎𝙬𝘾𝘼𝙎𝑎 was mostly the one in midfield, and at least when we were defending, it was João Neves who would go and fill in at right back, which I thought it was interesting given that, at the beginning of the season, I think Lucho had us believing that, 𝙎𝙬𝘾𝘼𝙎𝑎 would be sort of the Hakimi replacement, or would be the one to fill in at right back for him. And then over the course of the season, we've seen Neves play there, more and more bit by bit, and to the point now where he's basically the one, whenever, Hakimi's not there, that he's the one playing at right back, which I find interesting. I don't think Warren had his best performance again, which is a bit, I guess, if you want, a bit concerning. He's not really been able to catch rhythm coming back from his injury, but you got to be honest, it's been a while now that he's not been injured and should really be performing a bit better. So perhaps a slight cause for concern there, but he's still young. Not to use that as an excuse against him, but again, sort of in the same ideal of the team. It is what it is. 𝙀𝙀 didn't have a good game. Ruiz was fine. Dembele, as I said, wasn't all that good. Lee got a pretty good assist. I thought actually, if anybody, he was actually pretty okay. But yeah, it's just one of those League 1 games on a Tuesday as well. You have to catch up on, a missed game. Got another game coming in really thick and fast on Friday, and then you got the Arsenal game. I think here it's just keep, don't lose your invincibility streak for the season. Keep things up as you are, and come and don't get injuries as well. Don't get any stupid yellows. Don't get anybody knocked out for the leg against Arsenal, and just come into that tie fully rested, fully fit, and ready to go and take on Arsenal at the Emirates. Once again, I thought today 𝙬𝙾𝘿𝘾, when he came on, 𝙬𝙾𝘿𝘾𝘾 was just again excellent. I think the last month and a half, I think he's probably been our best player, 100%. But better than 𝙀𝙾𝘿𝘾𝘾, 𝙬𝙀𝘼𝑎𝑛, Neves, contact.business, all of these. He had a ridiculous pass there for 𝙬𝙾𝘿𝘾. Again, 𝙬𝙾𝘿𝘾 again wasn't his greatest performance again today, but came on, if I'm not mistaken, the 71st minute or 62nd minute, along with 𝙬𝙖 and whatnot. Again, not too concerned. Maybe just expecting a bit more, especially against a team like Nantes. But yeah, it's not the end of the deal. It's just one of those games, and we continue on, we move forward. The league's done. It's just don't lose the games and keep the invincibility streak, and prepare for the best of our abilities for the game against Arsenal. But anyways, guys, it's going to be a pretty short video this time around. We're at 7 minutes and 20 seconds. I'm going to need to extend this just a bit to get to the 8-minute mark for mid-roll ads on YouTube. Just a quick bit of news is that I'm going to be releasing a new podcast episode with a very, very, very special guest who is a Barca fan. I don't want to say too much more than that. Guess in the comments who that Barca fan is going to be. And I'll be, looking forward to seeing what you guys think of the episode. I think it's really had a really nice conversation with said guest, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the reception on the episode is going to be like, and I'll be interested in seeing if you guys want more of those style videos, longer form content, bringing guests on from different clubs to see their opinions on it. And anyways, with that, guys, it's been a pleasure as always. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. I'm not sure, we're probably going to be streaming a game sometime come around, but yeah. Remember, stay safe, stay kind, and stay blessed. Godspeed.